Lynchburg is Scottsville Dam is the last dam between here and Richmond. So everything upstream, you have 7 different dam sections. So there's muskie in between all of it. Either find one that eats or we won't. If you never caught a muskie, it's hard to have confidence in something. But if you have caught muskie, I'm always just about confidence, not necessarily color or profile. I've caught them on big flies, I've caught them on skinny flies, I've caught them on ugly flies. I think if the fish is hungry, he'll eat anything you put in front of him. That's personally what I think. If I had to pick a favorite color though, it would be a fly with orange in it. I've always had good success with like that coloration right there, that basically fire tiger, but orange instead of red, but with some red flash. I've always had good success. I'm not big at like changing my flies constantly. I'm more into just putting on something I know that works or feel confident in, and then fish it hard. If nothing eats it, then I'll make changes as far as, you know, changing colors up and stuff like that. Generally what I do is I fish a hole that I know has muskie, like I know for sure, and I might fish more than one, but if I don't move anything out of those spots, the next time I'm gonna hit them again, I'm gonna use a different fly just to see if its profile or color helps.
Moved a fish, came to the boat, figured ate it,
followed it around,
it didn't eat, changed flies, same drift, same fish, ate it away from the boat this time. Landed it, released it, took some photos, and it was a tagged fish, which is really cool. What is your leader setup?
Basically 30 pound, about 2 feet, 2.5 feet, to a swivel. You know, a swivel is rated for 40-50 pounds, and then down to a 40 pound knottable wire.
Like
which you
12 inches of that wire?
12 or more. I mean, you can run as much as you want. For a muskie to get up to there on and hailing it would take a lot. So that's, in my opinion, plenty. When they retrieve, they'll keep their tip up, and then when you get the fly to it to figure 8, you're having to push the rod down to get that fly deeper. So the best thing to do is, as you're retrieving, keep your fly tip in the water a good foot. That way, as the fly comes in, you're keeping that fly deep because you're not lifting that rod, or your rod tip's not up. Because if your rod tip's up here, that fly is going to keep climbing. And what happens is when a muskie's following it, he's focused on the fly. If that fly's climbing at the boat, he's going to look at the boat. Okay? So the biggest thing is to keep on the figure 8 anyways, the biggest thing to do is keep that rod tip in the water from when you start to when you finish. Make your turns wide.
Do you change depth levels as you're doing figure 8, or keep it all at the same level?
Just depends on where if the fish comes in. So you see the fish, he's not behind the fly, he's under the fly, then you're going to want to change the depth by sticking the rod down and getting the fly closer.
You just want it right in his face all the time.
You got to make it easier on them because they're not going to make it easy on you. So always, you know, pay attention to the depth of where the fish is if he comes in. A lot of times when it's cold like this, he's going to be behind. You know, he's not going to be right on the fly. So when you do your figure eight, I'm not looking at my fly. What I'm looking at is I'm looking at the water under the fly and behind the fly. So I'm looking for the fish. I'm not watching my fly. Obviously, if the fish comes up and eats your fly, you're going to see that. But I'm not looking at the fly the whole time. I'm looking at the surrounding area. And actually, as I'm retrieving, that's what I'm looking at too. All right, I know where my fly is. I can see it or whatever. And there's times you're not. But if I can see it, I'm looking behind the fly. I'm not looking right at the fly. I'm looking behind it to see if there's a fish coming. Strip strike on anything you feel. I don't care if it felt like a tick. Pull. Because a muskie will come with enough speed that when he eats, he's pushing slack into your retrieve. So all of a sudden you're not going to feel something, and then there it is. Okay. So it's not necessarily going to be a hit where it takes it out of your hand. I mean, they can, but sometimes it screws people up. If a muskie comes from the side and T-bones, he'll push slack into the line, and you don't know it's a fish until you come tight, because all of a sudden you can't feel anything. You know, you got that resistance of the strip, and then all of a sudden, oh, I don't feel nothing, and then you keep stripping, and there he is, and then you hammer him. It's okay to do it more than once. You know, it's like a tarpon. You know, if you strip on him, you can give it to him again. I like to fight with the rod tip low, no higher than 9 o'clock basically. So I'm using all the butt section to keep the pressure on the fish. I'm only going to strip. I'm not going to put the fish on the reel. I'm going to strip the line. And if that fish goes left, you go right with the rod, vice versa. The hardest part of the whole muskie game, in my opinion, is the figure eight hook set. So most people are going to come in like this, and they're going to go like that. And that's about the worst thing you can do, is because you're lifting, that fly is smacking the roof of the mouth, and it may hook, but it's not going to stay a lot of times because the roof of the mouth is so hard. So the correct way to do it is you're stripping in, go into your figure eight. Let's say this fish turns and eats. I'm going to bring the tip to the tail of the fish. Okay, so I'm jerking the fly back into the jaw. If I hook that fish like that, I'm going to stay tight. I'm only going to let him have line if he wants it, or wants, you know, I feel like he's trying to take it from me. And I'm going to fight him with the rod tip down while he's beside the boat. And the reason is, if once I hook that fish and I bring that rod tip up, he brings his head up and he starts head shaking, and a lot of times I see the fly go right out the mouth. So those are my tips.
First muskie ever caught on the fly.
It's not bad though, I mean.
Boom. All right, so we started fishing at 8:30 in the morning, downtown Lynchburg. Yep. Freezing cold, 20-something degrees.
Yep.
Ice in the guides.
Then we went to another location, which I'm not going to name.
And then we went somewhere else. And we did not catch anything there. Didn't move a fish. We didn't move a fish all day.
I haven't seen a fish.
So we got here, first drift, moved a fish, came to the boat, figured ate it.
Followed it around.
It didn't eat. Changed flies, same drift, same fish, ate it away from the boat this time. Mm-hmm. Landed it, released it, took some photos, and it was a tagged fish, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Probably a wild fish, right?
Yeah. Oh, definitely a wild fish, because they haven't stocked this river since 2009, and that's a 33 incher. They grow pretty quick in this river. So, to give you an example, they grow. Most fish that are 6 years old are 38 inches in this river, and the reason I know that's from tagging with the state. So that's definitely a wild one. That's cool. That is cool.
You know, the feeling isn't of like total joy, it's mostly relief.
Oh yeah.
It's like, holy shit, that finally happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's like